Hello, and welcome to episode 25 of the Digital Suffering Podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Stephen Something.
PhamtomLimb.
And Shell, if I'm allowed to be in this.
You might not be allowed to say anything. We're going to reserve judgment. So just shh until the appropriate moment.
It's a non-Shell edit.
Was she really there?
As done by Shell.
Just dub her over with silence. So it sounds like we're crazy and we're talking to someone who's like in the room but isn't. And we're imagining things.
Just leave the silent pauses in the thing as well. Where we could hear her, but you couldn't.
Right.
I was censored.
Let's get the show on the road. Okay. First up is a mobile game called Arknights. This came out about a week or two prior to the recording of this podcast. It is. I'm going to gauge my co-host's reaction. It is a tower defense game.
Oh god.
Yes.
Do people still make that after Plants vs Zombies?
Oddly enough, they're called tower defense. I mean, you see them on the PC games. You know, like the sort of Flash games style. You know, really budgety things. But I haven't seen anything, of notes come out until this one launched.
The only one on PC I can think of is They Are Billions.
I don't think I've seen that. Though I've seen, like I said, I've seen several, but most of the time with those, it's like RTS style. So units swarm, they follow a path or whatever. This one is very, very grid based. So the enemies, they follow along the grid patterns, and you place your units, and they have their coverage is not like cones of fire. It's grid focused. Yeah. So it's more while it is tower defense, it's kind of like a timed puzzle game where you have to place appropriate units at certain sections because in order to eliminate the enemy units within the time frame given. It launched, and among all the streamers and stuff that I follow and things, it just took up a lot of time. Even some like YouTubers for like the MMO that I play on occasion. A couple of them have did some videos. Oh, what is Arknights? This is it. This is the new game I'm addicted to, and it's very nice. The presentation is very good. It's all sort of futuristic UI and stuff, and the story is quite nice as well. There's a lot of lore going on. The thing is there's what seems to be missing from this compared to other games in the mobile thing is whereby all the story is like completely unvoiced. It's all just text, which is like a really strange thing because they have character voices for when you place the characters on the field and they perform actions. And also in the UI, like on the home screen, you can have characters, and when you like come back and forth between the menus, they may say a line of dialogue. And it's like you go into the character.
Maybe they've
recorded like multiple 30, 40 lines of dialogue for the characters. You pay for a voice actor to come into a studio and record this. Why not have them say, right, here's a script? Just even if you're going to like phone at home, read the lines.
It's going to be for localization, isn't it?
It is going to be for localization. However, with some of these games, because it's a Chinese game, but a lot of these Chinese games, they use Japanese voice acting, even for the home markets, which is kind of thing. So that way, and then they just use the Japanese for international.
But that's a different language.
Yeah, it's kind of a strange thing, but a lot of them do it. Even for ones I've seen games where they're not launching in they're home market only. Mm. The developers have stated no intention to release international, yet all the voices are done in Japanese.
I said to you when it was paused before we started the video, I've seen that screen before. I have seen it before.
Yeah.
A streamer that I follow was playing this game like 5 days ago.
It didn't register.
But I didn't see any gameplay at all because he was talking to the people trying to explain what it wasn't.
Why not show them what it is and say, this is it,
and
it's this thing.
I was on there for like 5 minutes and I couldn't be bothered, and it kept going back to this option screen.
Yeah.
And I just lost interest
Yeah, I got. It was called because obviously I was for the footage I recorded. I'm playing through it, and I don't want to skip the storyline. And then because I'm fairly early in the game, it's going to like throw tutorial bits at me. Oh, you've leveled up to this point. You need to know how to unlock certain abilities and stuff. So through things. So I'm going to be clicking. I sort of click through slowly just so I didn't miss anything. But then you switch to the gameplay. I mean, it's fairly. It's fairly fun. It is a fun game. Like I said, I treat it more as a puzzle game than anything because you say right, this particular enemy unit has high armor, so bullets don't work. So you have to use like arts damage, which goes through defense. So then you have to place certain character types in there, and then you've got like you have to work out the ranges, and sometimes because of the amount of points, you get allocation points, so which slowly recharge, which means you can't just dump all the units on the board. You have to work out the unit order, and some units they've got a very low initial cost, so you can dump them in. They do some early blocking, and then you have to pull them out and dump in some other units that are actually designed to sit there for, for a longer. Okay, so and like the defense units, so that you have to like. There is a sort of timing aspect to it, but again, it's very puzzly because you have to like think like on your feet, because even when you're placing characters, the time slows down like greatly, but you see the enemy slowly, and you click which way unit was it? It's this one. Drag right, select direction. Okay, release, and then you're like, okay, they're going this way, and then suddenly from another exit, when he's pouring in, is right. Okay, now I need to divert these characters and have here, and it's very Well, I mean, tower defense is it's not everyone's cup of tea, but because
it's not even my cup of piss.
It's not everyone's cup of piss, but when the game was initially announced, I looked in and I went tower defense, hell no, and then there was quite a lot of people talking about it, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a try just for the sheer hell of it, and unfortunately, I found myself liking it, and I was like. No, and I don't really play tower defense because most of the ones I've seen, it's just they're so tedious. You place your turrets, and it's just a DPS race. Can you DPS them down before they make it to the goal?
This is, what felt like that.
Yeah,
a little bit was obviously it's not.
Yeah,
but it felt like that same sort of mechanic thing.
Yeah.
Was Fire Emblem, the new one that came out.
Like the tactics one. Oh, the three houses. Yeah.
That felt like.
The battle.
They were so big, like so many characters you were controlling, and it just felt like that sort of tower defense DPS race BS that I hate so much.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's to an extent that it has that because obviously you're having to destroy the enemy, but. Each unit, can, because unlike most tower defense games that I've seen, you play your turrets and stuff. You place them, to one side, and the enemies walk past you. Here, you place units on the field, and the units walk, in the path of the enemy units.
Yeah.
So you have to judge whether the unit can stand the damage that they're going to be taking, versus the enemy types and stuff like that. And so it's more strategy than just okay. I'm just going to put turrets and okay, I passed it. And with some of the stages, they give you special scenarios. They say, right, here's 6 units of different type, and you have to place them in a certain order. Because I tried it, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is fine. Put it there, and then the enemy just plowed through me, and I was like, oh, I've done that completely wrong. And I said, okay, well, let me put my defense unit in the front, and then build around that instead. And I was able to win the stage 100%. And it was just literally, I just moved a couple of the units into a different position.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a matter of how much damage I was doing. It was literally, it's a puzzle. This is how you solve it. So yeah, it's just seeing gameplay footage now. We've been going through screens of boring text while you've been talking about this. And just seeing, I'm getting what you're saying. Yeah.
This is very literal, though, isn't it? In terms of I have characters.
Yeah. But the thing is,
literally dropping characters on.
Yeah. Each unit,
retinues or anything.
Yeah. Each unit, it's like a. Well, it's a hero character, so they have abilities and stuff, and you unlock specials and things. Giving them more. Abilities like to slow enemy units or to do AoE attacks, because some can only hit one unit at a time. So if they all pile up against them, if they reach exceed their block limits, they will just pass straight through. So essentially part of the game's success. A lot of the streamers have actually forked out money because it's, as with these things, it's a collector. So you collect the characters you like the look of, and there was one streamer called, I think, Tectone, and he did things. He was going to try to get a character called Siege, 6-star character, so thing, and he failed to get it, and he went, okay, I'm done. And some of his stream viewers gave him $50, $100, so he could keep pulling for 4 hours. He said the session last week. He didn't, obviously wasn't pulling continuously, but he did recorded 4 hours of video, edited it down to 15 minutes, and after that 4 hours, he eventually got the character.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
And it's holy crap! How much money did he sink into that? Because I've not looked exactly at the real money rates for buying the premium currency, but just the fact that it was this is giving you $50, and I was like. And it was $100, and I was like, "Oh, whoa!"
Dude,
and it was just
surprised me
no.
at all. I've seen people give to talking streamers who were looking on eBay at classic SNES games or NES games that were going for $1,000, and they donated $1,000 for him to buy it. And what's he going to do with it? He's going to wedge it up his arse in the next video.
No, he's going to sell it on eBay for a profit.
That's how stupid people are.
Anyway, but yeah.
Can only buy the character.
No. Okay, what it is right. You've got a roster of characters.
A horrible mechanic.
It's a gacha system. Essentially, you accrue while playing the game. You accrue a premium currency, which is handed out very rarely.
Yeah.
Once you accumulate enough, you can pull for a character or pull for a group of 10.
Pull is basically randomizing a chance of getting.
Yeah. So and then. You get a certain spread between 3 to 5 stars, and the rarer the character, the more desirable the character, the harder it is to get. For the 6 stars on the gacha that the guy was trying to pull on, is a 2% chance of getting a 6-star character. So, and there was 6 characters in the banner, so it's a sixth of 2% to get the character he wanted. Although oddly enough, in the first 10 pull, he got 2 6-star characters. Oh, no, sorry, that was someone else. Was it? Yeah, you think, but yeah. So the odds of it's gambling essentially because you want something and the odds are really thing, but they pay and they pay and they pay, and that's how they make the money.
So you can do it that way by eking points, or you can buy points with real money and then roll again.
Yeah, essentially time equals money. So you can either spend time or you can spend money.
There's mainstream games do this as well, Street Fighter and Rainbow Six.
Fight money.
And a game called Rainbow Six Siege does it as well, where they give you points, but you can buy points as well.
Yeah.
And them. But there is always this, because it's just a way of generating money.
Yeah, because the thing is, the game is given for free, so. Yeah, you have to pay for it somehow. And I mean, if you were to say it's buy to play and just have all the characters not for free, people would play it, and then
it's a one-off purchase.
Oh yeah, one-off purchase. One month later, unless you unlock, you have unlockable characters later on. You say DLC seasons, stuff like that. You have initial burst of revenue, and then it's gone. And most people will not commit to a game they don't know. Whereas if it's a free game with addictive mechanics, surprise mechanics, it's called, you're more likely to get a massive burst. All you need is a small % of people who will actually commit. And as long as you price your packages right, because they have a package, the lowest price package is 99 cents, which is a bargain. Whereas I've seen ones where no, but you've seen, you and I, we've both seen where they charge $40
plus
for ridiculous, for it's no value, and those are the cheap packages. So this one has thing is 99 cents, $5 stuff, and you can get a gradual scale. So if you want to say, I enjoy the game, I would like to contribute a small something. I don't want to pay $40, but here's $5. I will get something in return, and the developers get something, showing appreciation.
I seem to remember a few months ago, because I think we've talked about it several times.
Yeah.
A few months ago, I read something. It wasn't based in hard numbers, but it was based on one game.
Yeah,
I think, I can't remember what the game was, but it was a very similar sort of free-to-play with a mechanic where you could buy microtransactions for...
cosmetics.
Yeah, it was just cosmetics. It wasn't like hardcore loot boxes or whatever. Anyway, so whereas they like a similarly priced $40 game, I think they said, where somebody would invest $40, the average person would invest $50 to $60 if it was free and they were buying microtransactions on the side.
Because all the transactions slowly add up. If you spread it over time, you don't think about it.
Yeah, because like if I pay £40 for a game, that's an investment for me. I want that game to last. I'm going to play the F out.
You want to make sure you get at least $40.
Yeah, exactly. But if I get a game for free and then I'm not really, and over, let's say I play it over a year and then I'm putting money into it, eking £1 or £5 into it every other month because that's cool. I'll get that. Who knows where I'll end up.
Yeah. But that's it. Its thing is where is the value lie? Because the thing is, you said, well, you played the game for a year, and you paid more for it, but you've gotten that value back.
Have I though?
But that's it. It depends. But you wouldn't you pay the money if you weren't getting the value? Probably not.
No, but also it's a sneaky way of doing it because you're saying, I got this for free, so if I spend $5 on it...
No, but the thing is...
I'm an adult and I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And every time I did I've only really bought into 2 games that were free to play but it was always utility. It wasn't never microtransactions for cosmetics.
Yeah.
Because cosmetics are bottom of the barrel to me. They are the least relevant thing in a game.
Yeah.
It's substance.
But that's it. The problem is that if you have items that affect gameplay...
then stash space and things like that is common.
Then you break the game, you piss off the audience, and that's the path that leads to the path to ruin.
That's the path of exile.
I see what you did there.
And on that note... So, next is Lost Soul Aside. No, I have not had a stroke. That's actually what it's called.
It's 3 words put together to form a title.
It's that classic thing. I remember when I lived in Mexico for a while and there was a shop that had a name that was in English and it was just a random word that meant nothing and had no relation to what was sold in the actual
Was
shop.
it a side soul lost?
It was just one word as well and I was bamboozled by it.
They sort of open a dictionary and go,
that's a thing.
Okay, so Lost Soul Aside.
No, not lost, man.
It's not lost?
It's lost. It's not lost.
That's why I said lost.
Yeah.
I corrected myself.
Yeah, but we already said it.
Anyway, so this game actually was announced back in 2016, and our podcast wasn't around to talk about that. So this is why we have no recollection of it. It was back in 2016. It was a one-man development team operating out of Korea.
Right?
Yeah, and considering that the footage that we're watching. This is the 28. This is the new footage, isn't it?
I think this is more current than 28.
Yeah. Because considering how impressive this is, the previous footage looked very, very close in terms of fidelity, which is all the more impressive when you consider it's just one guy who's going to do all the, modelling and animation, etc., etc. So this was initial reveal 2016. Hoping to launch 2018. It is now 2020. Times have moved on, and the game has been handed off to a 14 person team in China now. Sony and Epic threw a whole bunch of money to get this published. So apparently it's going to be out this year. I think, is that from what you heard? I can double check that.
Allegedly, but there's people. It's getting a bit of hype again.
Because people don't remember it the first time.
Yeah, probably. But I don't know. It looks good to me, but it also looks bad to me. This is like I think we covered it last time. It was another game where it was kind of like Devil May Cry features. I like the look of this better than Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
it seems a little bit more adult than
Yeah.
the sterile world.
It's what we were discussing in the pre-show about Devil May Cry 5. We both looked at a speed run of it, and we saw that the gameplay was number 5 was the same as the others.
Yeah,
and
it's just old hack.
It's the hack and slash, but the knock them into the air so that they can't move, and just hack until they die, then move on to the next enemy and rinse and repeat. And games like Sekiro have shown that you can have fully featured combat systems where you must dodge, parry, position, change position to avoid attacks. Where the skill required is so much more. Obviously, you can't deal with near the sheer amount of volume of enemies that you can have in games like DMC and like this, but it makes the gameplay more satisfying in that each opponent becomes more of a challenge. It's not just, oh, I'm just going to go through these mobs. Each opponent becomes, oh crap, I need to pay attention because I might die and I might have to start again and come back and fight this guy a second time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a whole slew of weaponry in Devil May Cry as well, but it all boils down to stun lock and kill. Yeah. And like in this game that I'm seeing in this trailer, the enemies are so unaggressive. They're waiting their turn to be murdered.
Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah, exactly. All the Devil May Cry games are like that as well. They are so not invested in killing you, despite you being the thing that will turn the tide against hell.
They're all contractors. They get paid by the hour. They're getting paid whether you they defeat you or not. So.
Exactly. And they get paid whether they kill you or not, and there's an insurance policy on their life that their wife and kids will collect if they die in the event of a sword stroke / gun bullets to the head from Dante, insert character name here.
But I suppose, it's not like there isn't room in the market for this sort of thing, the sort of more arcade style, where people want the flashier attacks, the feeling that they are all powerful, where it is that for the most part, you just wade through the mobs because you are so much more better than they are.
If you wanted that, you just go back a few years and play, what was it called?
Devil May Cry 4.
Metal Gear Rising.
Revengeance.
Yeah, whatever.
Is it Revengeance or is it?
Yeah. That's the subheading. It's Metal Gear Rising.
I thought we weren't going to talk about He Who Shall Not Be Named.
No, we're not talking about him. He, as far as I know, he didn't have a hand in that game. It was just Konami.
Okay. They say we've got all these characters from this stealth, third-person action game. We should make a fighter out of it.
And it's not. It's basically this. It's basically.
Is it?
It's like Devil May Cry on cocaine. It's like sword slashes that fill the entire screen. Like, it's insane, and people loved it. And
because people love sword slashes.
There's an element of magic, and it looks like he's got super moves in this that he can sort of split himself into multiples. He looks like he's got at least 3 weapons in this trailer.
Yeah. Isn't it that is weapon? It's something about the dragon or something, or the weapon can change. It was there was some kind of element of one of the items he has could change to form something else.
I've read no lore on this game and don't care to at this point. Also, it being a PlayStation exclusive, I think it is anyway. At this point in time,
PS4 exclusive.
Whether that comes out on PC as well remains to be seen. But that's not good.
Epic Games have bankrolled it, so
have they?
Epic and Sony.
Oh well, there you go.
Yeah, so
there will
it's
be
likely
a PC.
It's likely to be dual release.
Yeah, there will be a PC. Whether it will be good and not buggy, and there's games out there that could have been a thing and they're just buggy as hell, and you just wouldn't play them.
Yeah.
There's a game on Steam at the moment, actually. It's called Spell... Oh, what is it called? Hold that thought.
I'm holding that thought. I'll race you to it.
I'm literally launching Steam.
I'm logging into Steam via the websites. Oh, well, how can I search for it? I don't know what it's called. What am I going to type in the search box?
It's called Bloody Spell.
Bloody Spell, okay.
Right, and essentially it is very close to a sort of, like these games, a Dark Souls-like... I think this is more Dark Souls than not, but I'd say it's more closer to Neo.
Neo?
Neo.
Neo?
You don't know Neo?
The one?
No. Neo. N-I space O-H.
Oh, Neo! Oh, that Neo.
He was just saying the same word over and over.
Well, yes, I remember that Neo. But that's more like those Capcom games, where you had the...
Onimusha.
Yeah, the Onimusha games.
They're quite close to Dark Souls.
They've evolved in like a parallel pathline, isn't it? Obviously, they had the isometric view, locked camera and stuff, but it was a very similar principle.
I think, you're probably right. It has got a lot of that, but Onimusha was the feudal Resident Evil.
Yeah.
And as the non-rose tinted glasses wearing people of the world will know, all the Resident Evil games, barring and somewhat inclusive of Code Veronica when it originally came out, are all crap.
You've lost all the Capcom fans.
Who cares?
There's going to be no one listening to our podcast in this room.
And if that game ever did get like the full works, over a course of time and came out of early access and had proper investment, then sure, that game could be great. But it could also suffer from serious bugs, as do some of these games.
Yeah.
And having seen some of the stuff in the older Devil May Cries with glitches and other randomness that happens, I just don't put my money down. Even if a game does look shiny and I know it might come out on PC, it's not like I'm sold. I have to see it when it's finished and then say...
All they need is a trailer with the main protagonist fighting ever-increasing monsters of ever-increasing size.
No.
And people will buy copies.
Yeah.
They will.
They will.
You know this because the games industry, we could point at multiple franchises where this has been a thing. And that's what you just need to make sure your trailer is cut. Like Godfall, your trailer is cut perfectly to demonstrate. Godfall, we discussed it.
I know what you're saying. I'm scrunching up my face because there was no gameplay in there.
Yeah.
And because
it
just sounds like all the other...
Yeah.
I mean, the 10 seconds of footage from that game I could liken to a game
it was
that
like
I bought on Steam for £5.
Called
Lords of the Fallen.
Lords of the Fallen.
Which was another attempt at making a game like Dark Souls, and where it fell flat on its face.
Maybe we should finish Dark Souls before moving on to the new Dark Souls games.
No, I haven't played this, but I've seen a lot of it and read a lot. And it just fails because of certain little things. It's got some cool mechanics in there. But it started... it went down a different route, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look much dissimilar to that Lords of the Fallen, except it has loot drops. And modern games with loot drops all miss the mark, especially when they come out.
So Diablo with double jump.
Like, if I'm going to stand at the mouth of a cave shooting enemies that come out infinitely and they're going to spray loot onto the floor, I'm just going to do that for an hour.
Yeah, because it's an easier way to get materials than playing the game.
They get it wrong every time.
Well, they fixed that by removing the loot drops.
Yeah, by nerfing loot drops into hell.
Yeah, by making the loot drops even worse.
Yeah, and then or nerfing the actual items you get from those loot drops, and then you're like, what?
Or making it that you need to grind even more because the loot drops aren't worth enough.
And I can't imagine that game is not going to be online, multiplayer. You need 4 people, raid, full on. Godfall.
Oh, Godfall.
Yeah, I see that in its future. They haven't said any of it. It's mere speculation at this point. But that is in the Venn diagram of success versus failure.
But who wouldn't want to play Devil May Cry with multiple people?
Well, I'm not saying it's like Devil May Cry.
Yeah. But I suppose that's...
I would like not to play Devil May Cry full stop.
That's Phantasy Star Online, essentially. It's Devil May Cry with multiple people. So.
Well, there's less jumping.
Yeah, there's
less double jumping in...
Well, the PS2 apparently has double jumping. I believe it has double jumping as a mechanic.
Don't be silly.
We'll find out in March.
When is your favourite game of all time coming out?
March for Xbox. So the beta is coming in March. And then after that, PC is like the end of the year.
Maybe.
Well,
if localized at all.
Given how many years have passed, 1 or 2 more years is like a fraction of the time. But there is a risk.
I like the way you're looking at big picture.
There is a risk I might die of old age before it releases. Yeah. So, as long as it don't take too long.
Some other game's going to come out and you're going to go like, this is better than
PSO,
why am I even waiting?
PSO3. Hey, forget that old stuff. We were going to skip to the next one. Right. On to our final thingy. If you Maestro, if you please.
The final thingy. The final thingy.
Right. If you're watching, if you're alive at the time this podcast was recorded, you'd no doubt be inundated with all the news and footage coming out about Doom Eternal, which is not being released yet.
Sorry, like what just happened? It was just Doom guy clinging onto walls.
Yes, I
was watching Dark Side.
I mentioned this when we covered it very briefly last year. They added a mechanic where there are walls, specially marked walls, that you can climb.
Well,
so they added platform mechanics. He has double jump.
Don't say that.
The Doom Marine can he can't. You get an add-on to the boots, so he can double jump. He has an air dash.
I'm feeling slightly queasy.
He has an air dash. This is like Devil May Cry now. He's fighting demons. He has an air dash, double jump. He can cling to walls to climb. So the climbable areas. It's like, but it looks amazing. I mean, you've seen some footage of it. I've seen some footage of it.
Well, I've seen 10 seconds of it. I
you haven't watched any?
Didn't look.
Okay, I watched some gameplay of it, and the bits are coming out of. There's a part where you actually can take control of the revenants.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. And so you fly around and you just rockets other demons.
There was in the other 2016 Doom.
Yeah.
There was ledges that were marked where you could climb.
Yeah. He has a climb mechanic where if you run it, the bits that I've seen, it's doomy enough. Obviously they've added a lot. Like he's got more ornaments. He has some ice bombs. He has a shoulder-mounted flamethrower. He has he's covered in so much weaponry. He has an arm-mounted blade, chainsaw, plus all the guns. There's almost no space left on him that isn't lethal.
Yeah,
he can punch things to death. He can kick things to death.
That's like old school Wolfenstein. I mean, that's not out of the realms of what id are all about. No,
so I'm not saying it isn't. But what I'm just saying is that he has become even more absolutely heavily armed than ever before, and you are just so lethal. Oh yeah, I remember what's called the. It wasn't outside. It was one of the things I was watching. They were talking about how this game is almost a resource management game because you got ammo and health and stuff like that. And if you do melee attacks with the chainsaw, the demon bursts open like a piñata and they spray ammo all over the place. But however, to use the chainsaw, you need gas. So you have to manage, fuel for the chainsaw as well as your ammo and your stuff like that. And so you're constantly switching weapons in order to say, well, if I do this, if I execute the demon this way, do a glory kill, I'll get health and that'll recharge me. And then if I kill them this way, I'll get armor and stuff like that. So you can't just go in there and just massacre everyone because you'll end up with less ammo than if you do certain kills.
I bet you can. I understand what that whole thing is, but I bet you can. But
it makes it makes your progression easier because you have more of the resources.
Yeah, but I bet you can play it your way, kind of.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure they'll have
obviously
the flexibility.
They want you to dip into the whole.
Yeah, the game is as what's called
different mechanics.
Thing. It's very orientated to force the player to be as aggressive as possible. You have to be constantly on the move, charging in and engaging in the enemy in order to achieve the best possible
risk reward.
Yeah. You have to get in close to get the rewards. But the problem is that obviously it comes harder to dodge attacks and stuff, and some of the enemies have can do serious damage if you get close to them.
I mean, as I said earlier, I did actually buy the 2016 Doom yesterday, and I'm still partially concerned about how it feels when I play it.
Have you played it? Have you?
Not yet. No.
Okay.
I literally bought it yesterday.
Yeah, but you could have installed it yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't. But I'm still concerned of how it plays, having played. I know it was developed by another team, but having played Wolfenstein: The New Colossus, and not being 100% on board with the gunplay, I'm still concerned how it feels. I know, like I said, I know it was developed by a different team.
Yeah, I suppose the only true way is to get in there and just run around and just see how the weight of the weaponry and stuff.
Because I mean, people rag on the remake of Doom. What was it? 2003, I think. No, Doom 3. Sorry,
Doom 3,
which was essentially a remake. People rag on that, but I really loved that game.
Yeah.
And, the gunplay was great. Like, I don't care about everyone complaining about, oh, this is so dark, I have to get the torch. Who gives a shit, man?
Yeah.
Like, get over yourself. The gunplay was great.
Yeah, this game dispenses with torches. It's like, the darkness doesn't matter, because you're the scariest thing there.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, like, this is a new game, it's a new generation, everything. But that's one thing they have to get right. Even if it was the lamest shooter based on the lamest property, if it was like Harry Potter, the first-person shooter, I don't care if it had good gunplay. Right, then it would be worth playing.
Because if it's not fun to play. You stop.
Exactly.
I actually what's called the AGDQ was out. Not out. AGDQ passed recently. And I was watching a lot of speedruns, including the Doom 2016 speedrun, and watching it made me want to get the game, and I was like, oh no, I shouldn't. I was reading something, because it was like, I came across something else that was talking about 2016, and they mentioned the law, and apparently, it's called, obviously, he's like been in hell, and it was called, in 2016, thing, the game starts with you waking up from a sarcophagus. Essentially, the demons of hell, they couldn't defeat you, so they imprisoned you in a stone sarcophagus for all eternity and hoped that you would just
be there.
Yeah, you just you hope you stay asleep. And it was like
you were the Tal Russia insert name of evil demon evil that they sealed away.
Yeah, so it's a kind of a weird thing because that's what humans do to demons. So it's ironic that the demons would do it to a human.
That's a brilliant turn.
Yeah, and it was and the thing I read, it half mentioned that, was it called? Because in Doom Eternal, you meet the forces of heaven or something, angels or something, and it mentioned that apparently the reason why the Doom Marine is just on steroids and non-stop is that part of the lore is he got blessed by an angel, and that so he is the part of the both.
You really don't need to do things like that in games, And
this was probably introduced in Doom 64, which is why they need to do the release because people are missing out.
There's a re-release of Doom 64.
Doom 64. It's like
it looks so bad
until it brought up. I'd totally forgotten that it even existed because I thought initially, oh yeah, Doom 64. Wait, wasn't it just Doom 1 and 2 packaged? For cartridge form?
That's exactly what it was. Yeah,
but apparently they added extra bits to it. Like lore,
Mario, right?
Like angels, the bit where he goes into heaven and fights angels. I don't know, but it's just like you think of Doom.
Spinning platform. I'm watching Star Wars.
You think of Doom, right? And the plot of Doom can be summarized is demons invade base on Mars. You get a gun and you shoot them. That's it. And yet all of a sudden,
what more do I need?
What more do you need? And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, there's all this backstory and stuff, and it's like, what? But yeah, so I wanted to get it because they said, oh, well, the lore is actually hidden in logs and stuff scattered around the level. So I not only have to play the level, I have to do 100% complete run in order to find all these goddamn hidden secrets and stuff. And I mean, I watched speedrunners do it, and some of these things are hidden in the most obscure places, and I'm like, this is 50 or 60 hours just to to satisfy my story lust. So at the moment, it's like
tentative.
I don't want to get it, because if I get it, then I'm committing myself.
Let's put it this way, right? It's like £5. It's just under £5. I hate the pricing on Steam, by the way. Why did everything have to end with a
99?
Like 19, like 34, 43. Like, why do these values? You can't buy a Steam card that says £8.62, but that's how much you're going to sell a game for and give me loose change.
That's part of the gacha games do the same, where they have packages where you buy premium currency, and you can buy like packets of like 50, 100, these round values. And obviously when you spend to buy the objects in game, they are not multiples of that. It's like if you buy it either costs more or less, so you always end up with a slight bit more, and you go, well, if I just top up this much, I can then have enough. So you're always chasing that round number.
It's just annoying as hell.
Yeah.
But anyway,
so it's only £5?
It's under £5.
Oh, dude, you shouldn't have told me that.
Like, literally, it's worth a £5. It's been down that low before. I've just held off.
Let me have a quick look, because the thing is, it would make sense to just pick it up, and then in 3016, 1,000 years from now, I'll get round to playing it.
You should just download the 55 gigabytes of it, or however much storage it costs.
I don't have that much disk space.
There you go.
Wait, Doom Eternal. Oh no, Doom Eternal, not Doom Eternal.
Doom.
Looks good to me.
Just Doom. £4.49. Yeah. It's not even £4.50. £4.49.
Yeah, it's under £5.
That's. I'm going to think long and hard.
Listen, you've bought lunch that's lasted less time than this game will.
Yeah, and involved less demons as well.
Hopefully.
Speaking of, I played Doom 2, the demo of it anyway. Modders had added Doom Z. They essentially add the ability to jump and stuff. They add, make the engine 3D as opposed to things. So bits where you're like a short platform, so you see the armor on it, and you like walk up to it. You can't. You obviously have to go around the long way.
Yeah.
You can just run up, jump up there, collect it, and then run off. And it kind of like breaks bits of the game because you can shortcut sections. But it means that they added like mouse look, so you can look up and down. And essentially, instead of the auto targeting, you actually have to. If the cacodemon is floating up in the space, you actually have to aim your gun at it.
Good.
And it changes the experience quite a lot.
Well, I used to play that with the arrow keys, WASD. Like,
oh man, Doom! I remember doing the sort of marathon sessions of Doom 2, and like just go sleep, and then you like wake up, and you're like, yeah, that was a nightmare, wasn't it?
It was the best nightmare ever.
When you dream that you're running through corridors filled with blood, away from things that are screeching at you, then you've played the game a bit too much.
I think everyone who makes a post-apocalyptic game gets the same reference book.
In terms of
environmentals, this looks just like every post-apocalyptic game that's been made in the last 10 years.
Because with post-apocalypse, you get the stuff that's now, and you make it post-apocalyptic. It's going to look the same.
Just go back to any of the Darksiders games. Here we are.
This is like, this got double jumping, so this is exactly like Darksiders.
This is Darksiders. We've had Darksiders the action RPG, and now we've got Darksiders the FPS. And there's even a big sword in this as well. Isn't
there? You can get the sword. What's going to? I don't know if you've seen the footage with this. The sword.
I've just seen the
trailer. He cuts the knight into bits with the sword. It's like. Yeah,
we're talking about the sort of red energy.
Yeah. And it's like eventually you can just take away the gun, and it's just going to be like first-person melee combat.
Hexen. Imagine Hexen looked like this. That would be awesome.
Well, they should do Hexen, but use this engine because it's all they need to do is change the technology into magic stuff.
All they need to do is get the rights to do so.
Don't it own the rights for Hexen?
I don't think it made Hexen, did they?
They didn't?
I don't think so.
Wow. Oh yeah, maybe it wasn't.
No, they made Wolfenstein and
yes,
Doom.
That's right. Yes. They licensed. It was a license.
I'd be surprised if the company who made Hexen is still around. I'm struggling to remember who it was.
Wow, Hexen.
There is a independent game, an indie game, should I rather call it, that is very close to a sort of version of what Hexen could be. That's out there, but it's a bit ugly and.
Raven Software.
There you go. Weren't they acquired by somebody?
Yes, I believe they were.
They might have even been acquired by id.
Raven Software. Flipping. There's a name that disappeared from view.
I think didn't they work on Return to Castle Wolfenstein?
I'm just jumping into their biography now. Wow, that's a long time ago. Let's have a look. History. Blah blah blah. Founded in 1998. Acquired Activision.
There you go.
So that's it. They became a nothing. Games. Blah blah blah. Infinity Ward. They collaborated with Infinity Ward and Call of Duty Ghosts. No, this is after. Let's go to the main list. Let's find out. Let's have a look at this. Oh wow, that's 1992. They were around. Let's jump to the modern stuff. Cyclones, Heretic, Hexen Beyond Heretic, Necrodome, Hexen 2, Taking Prisoners, Magic Slayer, Heretic 2, Soldier of Fortune,
God, that game was bad.
Voyager Elite Force, Jedi Outcast, Soldier of Fortune 2, Jedi Academy, some X-Men games, Quake 4.
Yeah. I thought they did Return to Castle Wolfenstein as well.
Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein 2009. Singularity, Black Ops, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2. Lots of Call of Duty, lots of Call of Duty. Oh, so they do still exist.
They're within under.
Yeah, as an Activision's. So they're just Call of Duty now. Forevermore.
Interesting.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to.
You're looking forward to going home and spend £4.49.
I was hoping you weren't going to remind me. Now I'm forced, against my will, to spend this $4.49 that I could have been using to purchase delicious McDonald's. Couldn't finish that sentence.
I'd rather throw $4.49 in the gutter than eat McDonald's.
It's like
Christ.
Money well spent.
Straight into the drain.
Right. I think that wraps it up for us. It's good night from me, and it's good night from him. Good night.
Good night.
Or good evening.
Good day.
That was the Digital Suffering Podcast. If you'd like to suffer some more, you can find other episodes on Red Circle, Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple iTunes, Stitcher, Radio Public, and SoundCloud. Please like and subscribe everywhere.